See, listen. Here, whenever you declare the pointer variables, certain amount of memory is being allocated. After that, we are going for dynamic memory allocation. So accordingly, based on the requirement, as and when the program executes only, your memory is allocated. As and when the program executes only, the memory is getting allocated. So to access the values and the address of these, it could be used only with the help of your particular operators. Okay, to access the values that is present inside that variable, you can go on to use only with the help of your particular operators alone, that is your indirection operator or your dereference operator. So indirection operator or your dereference operator is your star operator, Okay, so the next is value initialization. So earlier you have learned in your plus one, you have learned a statement like this: int a is equal to 5. Like this you have learned, right? So like this, at the time of declaration or at the time of allocation itself, you are initializing the values. At the time of declaration or as a static allocation, you are initializing the values. So this is your static allocation method. Then the next is your dynamic allocation method. Then the next is your dynamic allocation method. So in your dynamic allocation method, how to go on to initialize the values? How to initialize the values? Now look into the syntax here. Now please look into the syntax here. That is, pointer variable is equal to new data type, and then the value is given inside your round brackets. Use of brackets, please be careful. Whichever has to be used, you have to use it promptly and correctly. You cannot mismatch the brackets. Is it clear? So like this, here int a is equal to 5, I have given you, no? So the similar way, you can go on to initialize a value for your dynamically declared variables also. So for that only, you have this syntax here: pointer variable is equal to new data type and the value. Is it clear? So how it is? You can now look into the example. So example, SIPTR is equal to new short of 0. SIPTR is equal to new short of 0. FLPTR is equal to new float of 3.14. New float of 3.14. One prior thing, important thing that you should be careful here is, first these variables has to be declared as pointer variables. First these variables have to be declared as your pointer variables. So make sure that int star si underscore ptr, it has to be declared. Si underscore star ptr, the variable has to be declared as a pointer variable. And for the next one, float star fl underscore ptr, the variable has to be declared as a pointer variables. So first these two statements should come. And then only you can go on to initialize the value. Sorry, not short, here it is short. Why? Because short means, here look into the example, si is equal to new short. So the data type mismatch should not occur. What is the data type used along with the time of declaration? The same is the data type also to be used while making it as a dynamic variable, or at the time of initializing the value for your dynamic variable. Is it clear? That is, here I have given you a short. So here also, first the variable has to be declared of the data type short. So no mismatch should occur over here. Here I have given it as float. So here also, first that variable has to be declared of the data type float. Otherwise data type mismatch will occur. Otherwise data type mismatch will occur. Please listen to this. Is it clear? So at the time of declaring your memory variables as dynamic, you can go on to initialize the values also. So how to do that only? You have this statement. Is this part clear? That is, the syntax is pointer underscore variable is equal to new data type, and then inside round brackets you have to give the values, and then inside round bracket you have to give the values. So SI first, that is a pointer variable. First, it should be declared as a pointer variable as short star SIPTR. And after that, the next statement will be to make it as a dynamically allocated variable and also to initialize with a value. So, SI underscore PTR is equal to new short. Till that will be your dynamic memory allocation, and then inside round brackets whatever the value you are going to give will be the value initialized to that particular pointer variable. Is it clear? Now the next example, first float star FLPTR, you have to declare the variable. First float star FLPTR, you have to declare the variable, and after that the next statement FL underscore PTR is equal to new float of 3.14. New float of 3.14. That value has to be given. So that is initialized with that value. Is this part clear for you? Is this clear for you? Is this clear for you? Shall I pass on? Shall I pass on? See.
Yes.
Okay, now the next important thing over here in your dynamic memory allocation is, suppose whatever the memory that is created using your new operator, that has to be deallocated. That has to be deallocated. So your delete operator is known as your deallocation operator. Your delete operator is known as your deallocation operator. In static memory allocation, what happens is, so what happens in static memory, you could be your question. Here what happens is the OS itself will automatically deallocate the variables from the memory. The OS will automatically deallocate the variables from the memory. That is, after the execution of the program, those variables will be removed off from the memory. So it doesn't have any life further. So it doesn't have any life further. That is what happens in your static memory allocation. But whereas in your dynamic memory allocation, this will not happen. Automatic deallocation will not happen. That we have to do it only with the help of your delete operator. That you have to do it only with the help of your delete operator. So specifically, this operator is very important than your new operator. Okay, this delete operator is very important than your new operator. Why? Because that is, every time when you go on to allocate the memory, so your memory is getting piled up, right? Used up, right? So after certain stage, the entire memory you have used, what happens? Further, there is no place to do any work. A worse situation arises known as memory leak. a worst situation arises known as memory leak. That we will study in detail. So first we will move on how to delete that pointer variable. So syntax here is delete pointer variable. You have to write it only in small letters. Okay, you have to write it only in small letters. Please be careful, everything to be written only in small letters. So delete pointer variable. Delete pointer variable. So after this, in the next statement, as an example, delete si underscore ptr. Si underscore ptr means si ptr, which was declared as a pointer variable, will be deleted from the memory. Okay, the amount of space used by the memory dynamically allocated variable si will be deleted from the memory. Is it clear? Then the next is fl underscore ptr, cx underscore ptr. So whatever the variables that you have allocated through dynamic memory allocation, okay, you have to delete it with the help of your delete operator. You have to delete it with the help of your delete operator. Otherwise, what happens is your memory gets piled up and further you cannot use it for any other purpose. Is it clear? So that is why your delete operator is very important. I am telling you. That is why your delete operator is very important. I am telling you. Is it clear? So memory leak. As I told you, with the help of your new operator, you are allocating some amount of memory. With the help of your new operator, you are allocating some amount of memory. So if during every execution, some amount, little amount of memory is getting used up. Little amount of memory is getting used up. So further what happens is your entire memory block is totally used up. Okay, so and after that you're not able to use use the memory for any further work. That block of memory, that is used memory, is known as your orphaned memory block. Okay, the block of memory that is used up with the help of your new operator is known as your orphaned memory block. Is it clear? And finally what happens is, over execution, the size of the orphan memory block increases, and finally your memory disappears. Memory disappears means there is no memory available for us to use it for any purpose, that is for any processing. Okay, so such a situation is known as your memory leak. Such a situation is known as your memory leak. So how to avoid? What are the reasons? One, forgetting to use the delete operator. How the situation arises, how the memory leak arises is forgetting to use the delete operator, failing to execute delete, poor logic. That is, if you don't use the delete operator in the required places, and all the variables which were allocated dynamically, if they are not deleted, okay, sometimes by mistake you might have forgot to include one particular variable which was declared as a dynamic of which was declared as a dynamically dynamic variable, you'd have forgot. So what happens? That also becomes your poor logic. That becomes your poor logic. So what happens again? That is the reason for your memory leak. Then assigning the address return to already allocated object. That is the address that you have obtained, the address that you have obtained with the help of your ampersand operator. You have already allocated to another variable. Okay, you would have allocated, these are slightly higher concepts for you, just understand. Okay, the address that you have obtained from through a variable, you would have allocated, assigned to another variable. That also you forgot to deallocate, means again memory leak will appear. Okay, again memory leak will appear. So how to avoid that situation? How to avoid that situation is proper use of new and delete operators. Proper use of new and delete operators. Once if you have used a new operator for one particular variable, okay, then immediately for that particular variable, delete operators should be used towards the end of the program. Okay, before you could end the program, a delete operator should be used for the dynamically declared variables. Otherwise, only you will come across these reasons for your memory leak. Is this part clear for you? Is this part clear for you? Is this part clear for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, the next is further some more operations on pointers. Okay, some more operations on pointers. So just have an idea with this. Okay, there are only two operations, two main operations that could be performed and one more operation. Two main operation and one more operation. Okay, two main operations that could be done with the help of your arithmetic operators. Understand carefully. Two main operations that could be done only with the help of your arithmetic operators are plus and minus. Is it clear? Two main arithmetic operations that could be done on pointers is your addition and subtraction. How it takes place is slightly different. Okay, how it takes place is slightly different. Now understand this particular point, that is short int is equal to 2 bytes, short int is equal to 2 bytes. So here you have this. Yes, short int is equal to 2 bytes, int is equal to 4 bytes, float is equal to 8 bytes. This is how your memory is allocated for each data type in your Genie IDE and GCC IDE. Okay, this is how your memory is allocated in your Genie IDE and GCC IDE. Okay, with the help of this only we are going to move. Okay, how this takes place? How this takes place? Memory address is always numeric in nature. Memory address is always numeric in nature, and moreover, importantly, it is a positive number. Okay, and moreover, importantly, it is a positive number. No negative numbers are assigned. No negative numbers are assigned over here. Your memory address values are always positive numbers only. Okay. So now for example, just take these examples here. Cout si underscore ptr plus 1. How this operation is taking place, I have given you a neat explanation. Just listen to this. Okay. How it takes place. When 1 is added, returns the next address location. Returns the next address location. Address location only will be returned. Okay, listen here carefully. Based how that address location is returned is based on the number of bytes occupied by that particular data type. Based on the number of bytes occupied by that particular data type only, the next address location is returned for you. Is it clear? Now look into the example. Cout si underscore ptr plus 1 I have given you. Cout si underscore ptr 1 I have given you. Now look into this part. Look into this part. Output is equal to, for example, now look into the above diagram. Look into the above diagram. Okay. Your memory address starts from 1000. Is it clear? Your memory address starts from the value 1000. Is it clear? That is why I have given you as 1000 here. Okay. Next, I have given it as 1 into 2. I have given it as 1 into 2. Why 1 is the increment, number of positions to be incremented. 1 is the increment position and 2 means the number of bytes. 2 means the number of bytes. Is it clear for you? Wherever the lines that I have crossed, is it clear for you? Clear? So 1000 is the starting address. Now important thing, always any operations on your pointers will start only from the base address. Is it clear? Always any operations that is done on your pointers will start up only with the base address. Have that in mind very clearly, okay? So 1000 I have given you means, so 1000 is the starting address, that is the base address. Then plus SI, for that SI only that this 1000 is coming. Then 1 I have given you. 1 means this 1. What is the number of positions to be incremented? How that will get incremented is with 2, that is with the support of your number of bytes occupied. With the number of bytes occupied only, it will move on to the next position. Is it clear? So that is how you will get the next memory address in 1002. That is how you will get the next memory address in 1002 will be the next memory address. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now next, FLPTR. FLPTR you see. FLPTR you see. FLPTR plus 1 I am telling. FLPTR plus 1. Now look into the example. Where is the address starting? It is starting at 1010. Where is the address starting for a FLPTR? It is starting at 1010. How many number of positions I have to move? Just one position only I can move. I'm going to move only by one position, that one. How it will move is with the support of your number of bytes occupied by the data type. With the support of the number of bytes occupied by the data type. That is 1 into 8. One position means 8 cells will contribute for one particular data type. That is float means 8 cells will be occupied. That is 8 bytes. So this 8 bytes is indicated as 8 cells. This 8 bytes is indicated as 8 cells. So 1010 plus 1 into 8 will give you 1018. Will give you 1018. Always remember, from which starting address they have assumed the starting address, they will give one value. So that will be considered as your base address for that particular variable. That will be considered as the base address for that particular variable. Is it clear now? Is it clear? Any doubt in this? So if IPTR, for example, if IPTR is some memory, okay, if IPTR is some memory variable, okay, plus 2 if I give IPTR, memory address starts at 2020. Memory address starts at 2020. And IPTR means it is of integer data type. Assume that to be of integer data type. Assume that to be of integer data type. So you have 2020 to be its base address, 2020 to be its base address, and the number of positions to be incremented is 2, and the number of bytes occupied is 4. So 2020 plus 8 will give you 2028. 2020 plus 8 will give you 2028. So this is how we are going to calculate for addition. The same is applicable for subtraction also. The same is applicable for your subtraction also. Always it starts with your base address. Always it starts with your base address. Always it starts with your base address. So look into the various examples here. And finally, you can conclude. Pointer always takes a base address. Subtraction can also be done on pointers. Subtractions can also be done on pointers. Subtraction can also be done on pointers. Is it clear? So various statements on pointers. So these are the various types of statements, declarations that you will come across on pointers. Okay. So relational operators. Only equality and inequality are allowed. Only equality and inequality are allowed because your memory address can be compared whether it is equal or not equal, whether it is equal or not equal. You cannot compare that to be either small or greater. You cannot compare that to be either small or greater. Other relational operators are not allowed as they are unique numerical value of the memory of integer type. For example, if P and Q are two memory locations, P is equal to Q, P not equal to Q. Only these could be allowed. Only these two